What's up, Jeremiah?
All right, Bob, I know you're taking over for, and we got Harlow on now. Nice. Um, there she is. Help out your dad on this one, too, okay? And then send me instructions.
If she
Bob,
can
sorry.
code,
I'm
man,
sorry,
I got
Bob.
a job for her down in San Diego. So,
Yeah.
all right. So,
We're gonna.
what the heck was
Hi,
that?
Jeb.
Yeah, Jeff. You got two. You're feedbacking.
This is our first show. What's going on? It's embarrassing.
Well, go ahead. He'll figure it out, Bob.
All right, we get two guests on and everything goes to hell. All right, so this is week 10, I think, right?
Yes.
We're on week 10 because we just did the week 9 workout. Got two special guests with us this week. I'll get to them in just a minute. Just quick around the horn introductions for everybody. Clint Paddock, 4-time games athlete out of CrossFit Florian. We got Jeb Simmons, 3-time games athlete out of Northfit. Jen Dieter, 6 times out of Crucible CrossFit. Mike Kern, 3 times games athlete out of CrossFit Garden City. Myself, 2 times out of Offshore Athletics. And of course, our fearless leader, 4 times games athlete out of Garden State Athletics, Justin Lasala. Joining us this week, we have Carol Mezen and Jeremiah Head, 2 of the best athletes in the world that have not made it to the games yet.
Yeah.
I'm putting the yet in there though, right? Because these are 2 of my picks to make it. So Carol, 14th in AGOQ in 2019, 12th in the AGOQ this past year, and the women's 45 to 49 champion at the Legends 2019. She's a firefighter, paramedic, and mother of 3. And Jeremiah Head, multiple-time podium athlete at Wadapalooza, I believe 2018 and 2019, and 11th in AGOQ this year. Just missing the cut. You rub that in, buddy. And with that, I will kick it over to Justin.
Hey, guys. Jeremiah and Carol. I mean, Jeremiah, I know you. Carol, I don't know you, okay? I don't know who else knows you, So let's get to know you guys, Just give us a quick little spiel, about, what you got going on. Bob gave us, a little bit, Carol, start with you. Tell us about yourself and your CrossFit career.
Well, I am, like you said, a firefighter paramedic. I started CrossFit when a local kettlebell gym closed. And that was in late 2013. And I was pretty much hooked, but then I took a year off to go to medic school, came back, took almost another year off after I tore my Achilles. And 2018 was kind of my healing year, and 2019 would have been was the year that I jumped into a new age group. And so I trained really hard and made a run at it and fell short, and that's okay because it terrified me. And then I did the Legends, and a big part of that was realizing that what did I tell Bob? The age group qualifier kicked my ass. Like, I was so sore after that weekend, and I knew that I had never done a multi-day competition. I'd only done a few competitions at that. And I realized that I needed some help. So I did the Legends, learned a lot about trying to eat, why I work out, and how to recover a little bit. And then 2020 came, and I fell short again, but a little closer. And I'm so happy with how I've done so far, because the Legends in my age group are impressive. So, yep. So that's it. I'm the baby in terms of like my years in the sport, and I'm okay with that.
When did you start? What year was your first open?
Technically 14, and then I had
But then you got
15 and 18 off due to training and injury. So.
All right, Jeremiah, let's hear it.
All right. So I started CrossFit 2006. Just came across it. Literally, there was a guy doing it, selling it at a market night in my street. He had a kettlebell on a table, and I went and checked it out. And I didn't go to, he was running CrossFit out of a park. So there was no gyms around. And so I started doing it in my garage. I never went train with him. I was like, I could do this for free in my garage. So I started doing that way long ago, and I just did it for fun. I've been coaching sports my whole life, and just did it to stay in shape. I played basketball and volleyball. I surfed, all these other things. It just worked. And then eventually I ended up opening my own gym. I wrote to Bob, like I had never stepped foot in a CrossFit until I went to my L1. That was the first time I'd been to a gym ever, and got my L1, opened up a gym, 2012, I guess it was, just because I thought it would be fun. I don't know. I couldn't really afford CrossFit, so I just opened up my own. That backfired. I spent a lot more money. But yeah, I just got into it. And then along the way, me and my brother started Ramwad. And so my life kind of took a shift where I didn't have to be a teacher anymore. I was a full-time teacher also. And so that allowed me to train a little bit more. And I was turning 40, and I was like, maybe I'll just see what happens. And the first open when I was 40, I got 550th in the world. And I was like, I guess that's not bad. I was like, that's cool. And I felt like, well, maybe if I was able to work out more, I could do better. And then I signed up for the Wadapalooza qualifier that year and actually competed with Justin and Jeb that very first year. I was barely got in, and those guys were just smashing, and I just had a blast, and I fell in love with it. That was it. That was the moment. So yeah, I just been trying to scratch and claw my way up every year. And every year I've gotten a little bit closer, a little bit better. And, you know how it is. And then, this year I aged up to 45, and I was feeling good and strong. I had a goofy injury way back in January in coaching a basketball thing, and tweaked my shoulder. And anyways, I still fought through it. But like you said, I was super happy with how I did after everything I kind of went through the beginning of the year. So yeah, I'm still pumped. I'm excited. I think where the sport's going for Masters is awesome. I think it's very exciting where it's all going. And I'm excited to be in an age group where I feel like I can go out and have fun and participate in a really cool way. Yeah, I don't know. It's just fun. I don't know what else.
Yeah, for sure. So that's something I want to talk about. You always do so well at the on-site events, and we've talked about this with other people, do you think it's the workouts? Because, maybe some people are good swimmers and good runners, and you can do well at an event like that,
Yeah.
Or do you think it's maybe how I thought in 13, where this is fucking bullshit. I'm better than those guys. Okay. And I should be there. And I don't know how they fucking got in front of me. Who's this fucking Bob Jennings?
Yeah.
I every day, man.
Right. I think for me, especially early on, it definitely was the former. My background is surfing, basketball, running. So in live competitions, I'm able to use those things to my advantage. I'm tall. I got long legs. Me and Mike had some good runs there, sprinting it out. And hopping in the water. And so I could take advantage of those. Whereas burpees and thrusters, right, I usually was just going to get, trashed. So that's what I've really worked on, especially the last 2 years, is getting better at CrossFit. As far as I would say qualifier workouts and fast, and that just wasn't how I was built. I would consider myself a really long endurance kind of a guy. And, a lot of those qualifiers, that's not going to cut it, So, yeah, I think it's a little bit of both probably, but I know the cool part is I know all you guys, and I know the guys ahead of me, and I know I've competed with almost all of you guys. And so I know I'm going up against the best. I know so just to be where I landed in the last year and 2 years is, I don't know. It's amazing considering I couldn't do a muscle up when I was 40, at all. So some of the things I've done in the last 4 or 5 years are just really cool, and I just think it's fun. Yeah, so I don't have any negative feelings at all about those things.
Right. Carol, so, you know, is it just because you're new at the sport, and you've had some injuries that kind of held you up, or you know, what do you think the reason why, you know, or what are your what's keeping you from going to the games? Bob talks about how great you are.
Well, we're not going to tell Bob what my weaknesses are. That's actually, he already knows. Well, I mean, truly, I'm not trying to kiss ass and stuff like that, but Janet Black, Jelaine Undershoot, Jen, I mean, our age group is pretty stacked with a lot of experience. I am definitely have been more focused in lifting. And so now I'm learning the art of transitions, and I can do pull-ups, and I can do chest to bar, and I can do muscle ups and stuff like that. But I'm the one who would stop and chalk up my grips and just lose time because I didn't know how to transition from the barbell to the bar with grips on, and just weird stuff like that. I switched gyms just before I tore my Achilles. And where I started, I didn't really have the coach that opened the gym was 23 years old, zero experience. And it didn't, once I realized I enjoyed competing and I wanted to get better, I had to go somewhere that had people way better than me. And where I'm at now, the owners are both CrossFit staff, and one is a trainer, and then the other one is like she's in charge of CrossFit training, like the admin side of things or something like that. And they had a team that went to regionals, a lot of Olympic lifting coaches, and so all of a sudden I had sort of the piece that was missing to help me get the things that I couldn't do, like a ring muscle up. And the strength was there, but nobody could teach me the technique. Everything I was learning by watching other people on videos. And so, yeah, well, you know, and I would video myself and like try and break it down and what am I doing wrong? And I went and got my level 1 and my level 2, a big part of that being that my career is my career, and I'm not going to give that up, and I love it. And I'm not going to risk injury recklessly. And so I wanted to make sure that what I was being taught to do was safe, that the coaches were smart enough to coach me safely. And yeah, and so I think putting all of those little pieces together and having somewhere to really train and have somebody critically look at me and say, nope, that clean sucked, has helped propel me forward. And I work a lot. Like last year, I think I worked about 1,100 hours of overtime on top of my 2,500 hours that I normally work a year as a shift firefighter. It's a lot of hours. And so to try and train in that and expect to be the best when I'm not willing to give up chocolate and do all the things that the really, really good athletes are willing to do. I'm super happy with what my body is doing with the time I have. So I don't know. It's a little bit of selfishness and not willing to be as committed as I probably should be if that's my goal.
I mean, last year you just, what was it? If it was 20, you would have made it, right?
Yeah.
Jeremy, you too?
I don't know. I don't remember last year. Maybe it was close. This year for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So, you know, like, what are your, you know, Jeremy, I'll start with you, Jeremiah. You know, what are your thoughts on the changes? You know, we talk about that with everybody, you know, I mean, you know,
I think when they first announced it from 20 to 10, I was just disappointed because I knew I was really close. And so I knew that they took the goalpost and moved it and it was going to take, especially as I was getting older in that 40 division, I was like, man, so at first it was kind of a bummer, and it's just such a small window and there's so many good guys. Sometimes I feel like it comes down to a workout. Like if we replace, one movement with another movement, it shifts everything around. So I feel like that, at first I was disheartened about it. I was like, and I figured I always have a good time at like Wodapalooza and things. So I figured, well, if I don't have to go to the games, I'm just going to try to do as many sanctional type competitions as I can, at least get the most out of it. And so, then last year, watching the Masters, I was kind of like, oh man, like that's not what I was hoping for. I mean, like as far as the publicity, I mean, I've been to the games for, oh my gosh, 8 years in a row watching it, and just, I was hoping it was going to be more highlighting and it kind of felt like it was less. So I know a lot of you guys there was a lot of those comments out there. So that kind of was a bummer also, so yeah, I mean.
Did you watch it? Did you actually go to the games and watch it, or did you just watch it some other way?
No, I go to the games. Yeah, I was
Okay.
there. I've been there ever since it was in Carson in 2014, maybe. Yeah, I've been there every year. And I've always watched the Masters. I've always gone early, even when it was on the other field in Carson. I always went and watched the Masters. And yeah, so I've been watching it progressively, yeah. And I have lots of, all the buddies I have and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's tough because, I mean, we've all been there, we've all been like, I mean, Carol, I don't know if you're as committed, like, are you as committed from a sense where like you're leaderboarding, I mean, like, are you looking at it and being like, okay, I need to maybe get this type of score on there, and maybe you just, I mean, for Jeremiah, a lot of us, you could probably look at the workout and do what I do at times and be like, oh, you know what? Bob is going to kill this. This is an awesome workout for Bob, and Jeb, or, hey, that's a strong movement, or, there's a swimming event and Clint's going to kill me, Clint's a big pool fan. But, I mean, do you kind of do that a little bit? Do you see yourself leaderboarding and, like watching it either unfold? I mean, I remember the first time I made it to the games, I would talk to Jeb and, and actually Bill Malcolm was on that little chain, and we were going back and forth like, who hasn't posted yet? Like, are we going to get bumped up or bumped down? Luckily, it was 20 back then, But, I mean, do you guys do that? Do you do that kind of stuff?
Are you talking to us?
Yeah. Carol, ladies first, Carol.
Okay, go for it. Yeah, go for it.
In 19, I did well in the Open. And so we went into the qualifier going, wow, you have a chance at this. And I didn't know anybody other than like the names. And so did all the workouts. And then my coach is sitting behind me as I'm about to coach a teens class right after I finished the last workout, had my break. I'm about to coach a teens class. The 5 o'clock time hits and he's just sitting there, refresh. And I'm like, you're stressing me out. Like, this is ridiculous. And so when all the scores came in and we saw where I think I was 15th, and then they got adjusted and I ended up 14th. And I was ecstatic. I was like, this is freaking amazing. How did I do this? And then this year, I actually went back to 19 scores and kind of paid attention to like, where did this person beat me? And when it was a strength event, where did everybody in that top 20 kind of fall, so that I had a little bit more of an idea of where I needed to push my strengths. And so, yeah, there was definitely a little bit more leaderboarding this year than I didn't know what to do in 19.
Jeremiah, what about you?
yes and no. So I don't personally look at the leaderboard at all, but I got my wife, and she's like my crew, and she knows all of you guys more than like you possibly could imagine. For like, she knows all of your scores, and I already know what you guys are good at. Like, we've all been head to head, and I could say like who's going to beat me at what. But I mean, she literally has like spreadsheets and all this stuff, and she can and then when the workouts come out, I knew this year I was like, okay, with my shoulder being kind of tweaked, I game played what I could do the best, the earliest, and what I thought I had a good chance of putting a good score on, and then just kind of at the end was like, well, whatever's left over, I knew it wasn't necessarily a strong one for me anyways. But yeah, my wife, I mean, she knows everything about everyone.
I knew I liked her.
Yeah. So if you guys ever, like, she could probably start a business where she could like help everyone out with insider information. She just, it's pretty funny. But
you're gonna have to fight off Kern.
Yeah, right.
I know. We got to compare notes. I got to see who's got the better scouting report on it.
I know, right? It's it. But at the same time, it's like it doesn't matter, right? Like, I just got to go do what I can do because that's what it is. It's not like head to head where you can get a little bit of a lead and maybe like, I'm going to run slower now. You've got no idea. You're just, I know kind of how I stack up against some of you guys and some stuff, but you just never know. So, but yeah, my wife definitely, she knows, she's following and paying attention, and she's the one to be like, in previous, you need to redo this and you need to get 5 more reps. That's my wife. And I'm like, okay, I don't know if that's possible. So, but it's fun.
Yeah. During the qualifier, I didn't leaderboard. I redid all the workouts, which was ridiculous, but I knew based on the fact that I walked away from it without falling on the floor that I didn't try that hard. I didn't try at a level that I was going to qualify for anything. And that's, I don't know the competition. So I knew that I just had to go 100% and give it everything I had. So I don't necessarily have I want to ask Jen, does she, like, do you pay attention to the workouts and go, Janet's really good at this? Or
to a certain extent. I mean, I know my strengths and weaknesses, kind of compared to Janet, Jelaine, Karen, Ida, the kind of cluster, the gymnasts, the endurance people, and then the strength athletes. So, I'm like, okay, I'll do okay in the strength and gymnastics stuff, but I'm like, shit, there's a rower in this one. Okay, well, I know that's not going to be, my strength. So I'm just going to have to kill it in the such and such because, Janet's going to take that one. I know I'm going to compete with Jolene for the strength stuff. Ida's going to pop at the top of the leaderboard for anything gymnastic-y. So the last couple years, I haven't really like leaderboarded per se. I think just because I've gotten to know everybody so well that it's sort of like, off the top of my head, that way. And I think too, I've just, been doing it for a while now. So I'm a little bit less anxious about it. I mean, my first couple years, I remember I was out of town visiting my sister in Oregon for, it must've been the Open. And we were like addicted to checking the leaderboard during the Open. And my mom was like, what are you guys doing? And we were like, oh, we're refreshing and we're checking. And she's like, well, the scores aren't due till tomorrow night or until tonight or whatever, right? And we're like, yeah, but we're checking. And she's like, well, why don't you just wait till the end and see at the end? And we were like, why, who would wait till the end? That's ridiculous, So I'm not as crazy about it as I once was, I think, because I've made myself so crazy about it over the years. But yeah, I mean, I definitely have my coach and I usually talk when the workouts are released and we kind of go, okay, well, where's your biggest bang for your buck? Same idea.
Jen, are you oh, that's Clint, sorry.
Jen, are you friendly with those girls? Do you text your scores back and forth or you don't?
With a couple of them,
So
I would say I text back and forth, as you move up in the age group. So some of the girls that I know are in the 40s. And then some of the girls that I know well, of course, are in my age group, 45. So like this last time, there were maybe 3 girls that I was sharing scores with in the 45, and then another 2 or 3 in the 40s, just to kind of get an idea of like, okay, where are people, you know, in general kind of thing. So it's easier to share scores with someone who's not in my age group, you know. The people that are in my age group, it's always a little like, okay, let's share, but so help me God, if you beat me by 1 rep, I'm gonna kick your ass, you know. So yeah.
Jeremiah, you know, Carol brought something up that she started from, like, you know, a gym where there was like, she didn't maybe get the coaching she needed, you know. You think moving with Jason, you know, has really been a big difference for you, you know? And yeah, I've always kind of thought too, at least for me, I can only speak for myself. It's been kind of a puzzle. I didn't have Carol. I still eat chocolate. I'm going to have Talente's ice cream after this. Okay. All right. But you know, it was a puzzle for me personally to get the workouts right. Because at first I'm like, I got to follow this workout. I'm doing it exactly. I wasn't making modification. My back hurt. I don't give a shit. You know, I'm still going to do it. You know, put the puzzle together. I know you started with Jason, you know, talk about that.
Yeah, for sure. And I think obviously my back, since I started so early in 2006, I was kind of like, you know, like Carol said, like just watching videos of, you know, Spieler do stuff. And I was like, what? No one even, I literally thought it was impossible to do ring muscle ups and walk on your hands. I thought it was a joke, you know. First time I tried to do a ring muscle up, I just walked away defeated and thought, this is stupid. Like no one does this, you know. And I learned the same thing in my garage, you know, just terrible form. First time someone got their eyes on me, they're like, what are you even doing? You know, so I had to start over. And I think for me, it's been a kind of good progression of different programs. And I've, you know, like I did Misfits for a while, really early on. And I think, you know, early on, it was really good for me. It was just like no nonsense, bury your head and work, you know, and I think it kind of helped develop for me. I liked it. It was a good work ethic. And then I did Brute for a while, and they just kind of added a little piece to the puzzle, you know. Then I had more gymnastics. They had a really good gymnastics foundation. And then, yeah, just teamed up with Jason, I guess it's a couple years ago. And now he's the first coach I've had one-on-one where someone's actually talking to me. And it's made a huge difference having that feedback, sending videos. And he's just been in it so long, he can give me like those little information that I didn't know, or sometimes like Justin says, like saving me from myself, like, oh, I'm sore, but I don't care. I'm just going to do this anyways, where he'll program, no, we're not going to do anything for 2 weeks. And I'm like, oh, okay. Thank God. Like, otherwise, you know, like, and that's been a big help, especially through injury or just through the whole process. And, you know, we've clicked on a really level, and we kind of have a similar background. We both played basketball. We're both tall. I don't know, like it's goofy, but I've really, really enjoyed that part in the last couple of years. So I think it has helped me. Yes, for sure. Yeah.
Carol, I mean, are you following the gym programming, the affiliate programming, or are you venturing out, working on some of your skills, or you have like a competitive program at the current gym?
I was following the gym program and supplementing it with a strength program up until about 4 months ago. I started doing comp train, but I still veer off of that to do more Olympic lifting, and because I get bored with it, and I need to work out with people. Like I do a lot of working out by myself in the back of the gym, all by myself, or at the station in the gym. So I'm totally capable of working out by myself. So if there's an option for me to join a class that sort of fits within the programming, I walk away from the programming and do the class workout to just have that sort of camaraderie and the push. I'm sure I can do it better. I'm sure having a one-on-one coach that writes a competitive program for me and stuff would be better, but I don't know anything but what I'm doing right now. So that's what I do.
You're just kind of figuring it out, right, on your own
Yeah.
little way, you know, because of, like you said, you work a lot of hours, you got 3 kids, you know, and you have other priorities too as well. Yeah, for sure. Jeremiah, it would be it'd probably be did you see yourself getting involved with the ROMWAD because of your shitty mobility? Was that really what, I mean, because that's what turned me on to it, to be honest with you, is, my shoulder externally and internally rotating in circles, I've never heard of this story. I know it's you and your brother. So, give us that real quick.
Yeah, real quick.
Kern, I'm sorry. Kern's promoting you already over there.
I know.
Yeah.
He's looking for a freebie.
I know. No. Yeah. I mean, you almost, nail on the head. So, my brother is a yoga guy. We grew up lifting weights and stuff, but he got into martial arts and yoga really early on, and I got into team sports. So he opened a yoga studio before yoga was cool. We literally thought he was doing some really weird thing way back in the day. We're like, I don't know, whatever you're doing, we're like, So thought it was a religious thing. I don't know. Anyways, it was not. Turned out to be, he's way ahead of his time. But yeah, so he's doing yoga, and I was like not into it. There was no shot I was going to go do what he was doing for a long time. He owned this yoga studio. I finally did it like once, and it was cool, but it was like 2 hours long. And I was like, no, not doing this. My attention span was not having it. But as CrossFit started to grow in our city, he kept telling me that like once a week, a ton of CrossFitters would come in and do yoga. And I was like, yeah, it makes sense, because CrossFit is so like, we need range of motion and shoulders and hips and all this stuff. And I was like, I kept telling him like, dude, you should offer a class for CrossFitters. You make a killing. And he was like, whatever. So long story short, one day he comes to me kind of with an idea that instead of doing yoga, which was like, these 2-hour flow sessions, he wanted to try doing martial arts yoga, which was called Yin, right? Which it was his martial arts training. It's not from India or yoga. It's from, the Asia, from the martial arts background. And it was totally different. And I was like, okay, well, and so anyway, we started talking about it. And one day he's got an idea that we can do something on a computer. And we talked about it. And I was like, we have to make sure this works. So I became test subject number 1. And yeah, at the time, like, oh man, no ring muscle ups. I think I could barely snatch 135. I mean, squat snatch, it was terrible. Just years of playing basketball and volleyball and never having to squat, never, all those things. Coaching volleyball, my shoulders just banged up. And the things that I was able to do at the speed at which I could do it was so remarkable. I mean, within 6 months, everything was improving. And I was like, wow, this is cool. So then, we started testing it on people in the gym. And then we started testing it on just anyone we could find it would do it, and like, we were like, maybe we could find a few people that would think this was cool, then they would do it. Like, I was like, every time I go to an event and I see where we are now, like, I can't even put it into words. Like, Mike's wearing a shirt with a logo that we created one night at my brother's room. Like, and it's great. Yeah. And the socks, right? And the Swollen Flexi hashtag is something I made up one day as a joke at a photo shoot. And like, I just hashtag, I was the Instagram guy for the first year of ROMWAD. Like, I was killing it. Like, we had like 1,000 followers. It was awesome. But, I hashtag Swollen Flexi, and now, it's like crazy. But what happened was we went to 2 regionals athletes in our area, and we just asked them if they wanted to try it. And I was scared to death that they were not going to do well. And they both did it like 3 weeks before regionals. We were like, you sure you don't want to wait? And they're like, nah, this will be cool. And I was like, yee. And they both loved it. And then they just started telling all their friends all over the world about it. It kind of turned into like the programmers started telling each other, and here we are now. Like, it just kind of grew. And then in the masters community is where we get the most feedback. Like, honestly, we'll go to the games, and every master will be like, thank God, thank you. So yeah, but it really, you know, I went to a camp. Very first camp I went to was a misfit camp, and the very first thing they had us do was up in Oregon, is do like a squat hold, and I literally couldn't do it very well at all. And they're literally like, "Oh, look at the Romod guy." What? Like it was like, "Thanks, Seth. Thanks, Drew. Nice guys." Like just putting me under the bus. Like I was so bad. Like it was terrible. So, yeah, that it grew out of that. Literally my lack of mobility. So yeah,
Well, congratulations. It's awesome. Obviously I think it's just like I said, you probably get the most feedback from the people who use it the most, which are probably the older people, so for sure. Carol, you said you did more lifting, did you get into CrossFit through the lifting aspect? Do you prefer like more lifting type movements than than maybe like I don't know much about you. Are you a taller athlete? I know Jeremiah is tall. I mean, how tall are you, man?
Almost 6'1".
Yeah, I mean that's tall CrossFit, for sure. That's like Simmons. What are you? You're above 6 foot, right? Yeah. And Clint is too. Bob, you?
5'11".
6 foot.
5'11". Well, I don't know. Easy, Clint. Are you a taller athlete? I mean, was strength more your thing? Do you prefer more strength type movements?
I am 5'7", so I think I'm on the taller side for women.
For sure.
2 inches taller than Justin.
Yeah. You're my height.
I'm definitely
you're right.
bulkier than a lot of the women that I see that I'm either competing with or against in my age group. Seems like the petite once was a gymnast. It does very well in CrossFit. I started CrossFit so that I could lift the 35-foot ladders at work, and that I could drag hose and run up stairs in gear and carrying hose and all that stuff. I just needed something that would give me the strength to continue to do my job. And then I started throwing a barbell around, and I was like, this is amazing. And it helps me. It was like my therapy. I would get done with work, and you lose a couple patients, or, just stuff that happens. And I'd go into the gym, turn up the music, and it just like was therapy, especially if it had hang cleans in it. Then it was good. So I learned that I loved the barbell. I'm good at gymnastics. I'm not great at ring muscle ups, but make me go upside down and I do just fine. So, but the barbell is where I do love the barbell.
Have you done any other competitions other than Legends? You said that one year you were afraid they'd make it to the games because you thought you would have been kind of overwhelmed in a sense, and then you went to Legends. Have you done Wadapalooza or any of those other events?
No, I qualified for Wadapalooza that year, but couldn't get the time off of work. I qualified and competed at the Southwest Championships, which was like a week before Legends. I don't really count that because it was bad. And then I've done 2 Olympic lifting competitions, and then maybe 4 or 5 local ones. But like I said, when I qualified and I went to the games in 19 as a spectator, and just to echo what was said earlier, I was super disappointed in like the programming and watching the Masters. I was just like, really, all of the work to get here in this? But watching it all was another one of those, wow, I'm actually glad I didn't make it, because I might have looked like a fool. So then it was focus on figuring out how to compete. Like my first competition ever, I don't think I ate more than 200 calories the entire day, because I just kept vomiting. I was so anxious. and so nervous. And so I left the Legends, and I remember when we took a road trip home, and I remember saying to Sean, my other half, I only vomited 3 times. Like, that's the best ever for me. And I ate all day long, and it was like this I was so proud of myself that I had learned how to do something and how to sort of fuel my body. So yeah, I totally took a sidetrack there. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry about it. I do it all the time. Jeremiah, I have one more question for you. I mean, as far as like some of the things that I wrote down, you know, you're the 45 to 49 rep for the functional fitness. That's James Fitzgerald, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So tell us about that, because I don't think we hear enough about that.
Yeah. So I don't know how I came across it last year. I guess I just saw some Instagram posts, and I saw that they had a competition in Australia, and I was like, oh, that sounds cool, you know? And so I just sent them a text or a message, you know, asking them like, how do you even get into this? You know, I was like, I didn't even know how that was a possibility. And they were like, oh, just keep following our social media and it'll all come out. And so, yeah, they announced the qualifier was it was like a whole month to do 4 workouts. Like they really make it like way easier than anything else. They're like, here's these 4 workouts and you have a whole month to do them. Like, I was like, I'm sure they're going to do like 1,000 times. Like, it was in between, it was like before Wadapalooza or during, I don't know. I didn't go to Wadapalooza because of my shoulder, but it was in that area for a month. And it was pretty cool. Like they weren't the kind of open or qualifier workouts that would destroy you. They were easily done, but they were a good test, a lot of different variables. They kind of break everything into these different modalities, I guess. So they'll have like one workout is like a strength test, and one workout is a gymnastics test, and one workout is a power test, and one is a mixed modality test, which is the CrossFit test. And they'll pair them together. Or endurance, sorry. So one was endurance into strength, and that was one workout. It was 20 minutes long, but it was 2 scores. I was like, oh, wow, I can get 2 scores done in 20 minutes. That was cool. And then one was a gymnastics test that was bar muscle ups, strict handstand push-ups, and handstand walks. So it was really shoulder. I mean, it was insane. Like it was very tough. And then the mixed modality one was like dumbbell snatches and dumbbell lunges and toes to bar and double unders. And I was like, yes, that's my jam. So I did them all once, and it's kind of crazy because there's no leaderboarding. So there's people in there and you can't see any scores. You can put your scores in, but there's nothing to see. There's nothing to look at. And every single person has to put every single workout in a video. Like, so there's literally no hiding. There's no, it's going to be up. So it took them a month to watch all the videos. So like, you have no idea how it's going to pan out, but yeah, so I ended up winning. And so we were supposed to go to Portugal in October. Obviously that got moved, but it's getting moved to June of next year. So we didn't lose our spots. Nothing happened other than it moved to June of next year. I know they're going to add 2 more spots. So they were going to take 3, but now every single age group is going to take 2 more spots. They're going to have another qualifier, I believe in December or January, and they're going to have another opening for every single age group to add 2 more people to the team. And it's like a 3 or 4 day competition in Portugal for USA Functional Fitness, which is, James Fitzgerald. And they're trying to make it an Olympic sport for 2028. So in order to do that, they have to get enough support for the world. Every country has to form a federation and has to participate in this thing, which is the International Functional Fitness. And if they get enough countries, then they can form, it can become an Olympic sport. So it's really cool, like kind of it's definitely different than CrossFit. Yeah, they're really, there's a different guy that I deal with, name is Mo, super cool. In fact, he sent me a voice message today. They're really cool. They're really excited. They're very humble, very, they just wanted to grow and be a part of something. And so yeah, I'm super excited. It should be cool. I don't know. It'd be fun to be part of Team USA. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't go wrong with that. So
Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
You brought up something too. All your submissions have to be by a video. You know, I'm doing DCC right now, and they're requiring the same thing too as well. I mean,
yeah.
Shouldn't that be that? I mean, this is for everybody, quite frankly. You know, I mean, shouldn't that be the case? You know, like maybe you don't have everyone has access to view them, or I don't know how you would maybe do them unlisted or something like that or something. But I think everybody should have to put a video. I mean, especially just to skate through open now, you know, I mean, like then there's no video response, you know, I mean, we talk about this all the time, but I mean, isn't it time that they just make you put in a video, you know?
Yeah, I definitely am. I think so. It gave me so much more confidence to know that, you know, it was just going to be on the up and up. I mean, at least, I don't know, maybe they didn't watch them, but it took a month to say they watched them. But yeah, they were totally unlisted, so you couldn't see the videos. Whoever got to see them saw them. It wasn't like, you know, worried about social media or someone calling you out on your reps.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it just felt good. And they took, you know, and as soon as a video got approved, that score would pop up on the leaderboard. So, and again, it wasn't like all the scores at once. No score showed up until that video was watched and that score was confirmed. And then that video popped up. And so, like, for me, like one score popped up, and then another score a week later. And so either they were really good at playing a game or they were actually watching videos. And I agree. I think I think it's a good idea. I think it would bring a lot of, I don't know. It would definitely make the sport better.
Is it, when you go to Portugal and you're competing as part of Team USA, like, is it a team event or you're competing as an individual?
Yeah. So for me, it'll be an individual. It's the Masters World Championship as an individual. So we'll go as a group of people, but I'll be competing just in that 45 to 49 age group against everyone. So even the other guys from the USA, but also against the other countries. From what I understand, and that is going to be only Masters will be competing in Portugal as part of another event there that's called TAFISA. So TAFISA is this every 4-year kind of Olympic type thing, but it's their goal is to highlight sports that are going on in the world that are different. So like, and I guess every year they highlight a new sport. So one year it was in Japan and like judo was like the featured sport. And I guess functional fitness is the featured sport coming this year. That's what they wanted to feature. So we'll be competing there'll be a lot of other athletes there doing other things, kind of like an Olympic type thing. So, but the regular international functional fitness competition was supposed to be in Canada in November, and it just got canceled again. And from my understanding, there's individuals and there's teams for that. So there is like a Team USA that did compete as a team, but not for Masters. So yeah, it's. I don't know a lot about how the other part worked.
Who are the other Masters on the team with you?
Goodness. So Ryan Elrod, he won the 35 division, and I know he also won the qualifier. Oh my goodness, I don't. You know what? Right now, my brain is going blank. The guys in our division aren't. They're none of you guys. So there's like,
me guys, it's me.
Yeah.
Surprise!
There's a few names on there that I recognized, and then a few that my wife told me were in the qualifier. But I don't.
Your wife has all the stats on them.
You have to check. I get her real quick and ask her who they are. She might know.
She's our guest for next week. Have her clear calendar.
Well, guys, we did a workout. Some of us did it. Okay. You know, we got 10. Usually, sorry guys, these guys keep us to an hour. You know, they got a lot of busy things to do. You know, they're super busy. Mike's got to work on his lighting and he's got the Bud Light.
Bud Light seltzer tonight.
Oh, he started a little late because he knew he had the show tonight. He missed it last week because he was inebriated.
Hey, Justin. Before we get into the workout, can I ask you guys what keeps you going? Like, what keeps you
Oh,
going?
no, yeah, go nuts, please.
And how long do you guys plan on going? I guess we'll start with Carol.
Yeah.
I think it's, like I said, it's my therapy. Whether or not I compete, I don't know that I'll continue to compete for 10 years or anything like that. But I need the fitness level for my job because I need to be really, really physically capable there. I need the mental release for my job. And then other than that, it's something that I truly, truly enjoy. So I just haven't had the opportunity to with, West Coast Classic and Canada West and all those canceling this year. I just didn't get the opportunity to see how much I love or don't love competing at that sort of higher level than a local thing. So we'll see.
Okay. Jeremiah?
Yeah, I think kind of the same thing Carol just said. Like, obviously, in probably the last couple of years, I've retired 3 or 4 times from all of this. Like, just done with this crap. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But when it comes down to it, I think I really enjoy the daily stuff. Like, I just really enjoy exercise. Like my whole life, when I was in high school, I was like short and fat, and I was never like the greatest athlete. And then I found the weight room, and it like changed. I just fell in love with it, and I think CrossFit was another one of those things I just kind of fell in love with the challenge and the competing against myself, and then I feel so fortunate to be even, hanging out, talking with you guys, being as close as I am in this Masters CrossFit fitness realm, as long as I can do it and be healthy and have fun, and my family supports it, and we all just kind of are having a good time, and I'll kind of keep doing it. It just, for us, it's a really big family thing. So my kids love to come out and cheer, and it's fun. And there's days, like I said, it sucks. You don't want to do whatever it is. But, yeah, I think, I don't know. Like Carol said, I don't know. Is it another year? Is it 5 years? Who knows? I think as long as I still love doing it, I'll probably just keep trying, and just keep doing it. And I think also, like I said earlier, now where there's more Masters competitions, like what Bob's doing, where now 35 guys can come. Like, to me, that opens up the possibility of saying, well, I don't have to be the top 10 in the world to go have fun and hang out with the guys. Like, I can still be really fit, and obviously you can't back off, but I think that those opportunities make it even more fun, to where maybe it just, hey, I can go and we can throw down in front of a live audience. Our families can come cheer us on and just do what we do and keep enjoying it. So like I said, I'm excited for the future for those types of things.
Yeah, I would say that, when putting together the program for this week, and we had talked about it as a team here, as the Master Shatter team, right? We wanted to put together and bring in a couple of people that represented folks that just hadn't made it to the games yet, right? And you two were the first that came to my mind, because I've seen you both compete, and you guys are fantastic live competitors, right? I mean, you just crush it at, Wadapalooza or at Legends, right? I mean, amazing athletes. And to me, you two are the poster children of everything that CrossFit HQ has done wrong, right? Like, cutting it down to 10, like it eliminated 2 of the best athletes in the world from potentially competing and being podium type athletes, right? Just because you're barely outside of the top 10 on a really arbitrary qualifier, right? So I'm really excited to see you guys compete the rest of the year. I really can't wait to see, both you guys at Legends. I can't wait to see what you do next year, Jeremiah, at the thing out in Portugal. Expanding the field, to me, is a you two
There you
are the reasons why we should be doing it. So.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for giving us a platform.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing, and that's really why we started this, is to have some sort of platform. But we, who else did the workout? Kern, you did it, right?
I did it today.
Bob did it. You guys can do it, Jeremiah, if you want to do it, and Carol.
What is it?
It's easy. You're gonna love it, Carol. It's right up your alley. Okay. All right.
Okay.
It's 12 snatches, squat snatches, 95 pounds, 135.95. Then it's a 100-foot handstand walk. All right. Then it's 9 snatches and a 75-foot handstand walk. And then it's 6, 50, 3, 25. Right. So I don't know how healthy your shoulder is, Jeremiah. Are you feeling? Yeah. Are you good or?
I haven't snatched in 10 weeks, so I have no idea.
Okay. Skip it. Jen, I think Jen was upset because she really liked this workout and I did really well in it. So she programmed the workout that I really can't even do, you know, because I don't have any dumbbells.
That's right.
She's like, let's do 70s. And I'm like, well, I don't have 70s. And she's like, let's do 75s. And I'm like, I don't have anything over 55.
You're going the wrong way. You're going the wrong way.
Let's do 80s.
That's right.
Yeah, for sure.
I told you could use the girl weight if you wanted to.
Right. Well, listen, you know, I mean, with the workouts, you know, let's get, do we have one? Are we going to do that one? I mean, I don't have the dumbbells for it, but I can do something.
Hey, who's going in and out of your house, Justin?
This is my friend Jake. He came over for a beer.
You getting robbed or what's going on over there?
Hey, we're preparing for the protests around here, okay? So load them up, fellas.
Where's his mask?
Yeah, come on. You know, we're supposed to, Carol, before we get off here, and Jeremiah, what's your situation as far as, is your gym open? You know, what's going on? Do you know when it's going to happen?
No.
Nothing?
Yeah, we're supposed to open this week, but the coaches aren't allowed to work out yet. We can only come in if the classes aren't full, and the class size is limited to 5.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah, so I have, other than rings, I have a full gym in my garage. So I just don't have any people there, and that's sad. But
right. Where are you? What state?
Seattle area, Washington.
Okay. Washington. Tacoma, outside there?
I'm across the water from Seattle, so
okay.
Kitsap County.
My brother used to be out in Fort Lewis. So that's what
okay, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Jeremiah, where are you at?
I'm in Southern California.
Yeah, you're like us. You're fucked.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You know,
all the cities on lockdown today, right now too, with all of Southern California. So that's So yeah, you know, it's good times.
I heard that we might be opening up in like 2 weeks, though, man.
I have heard that. Yeah, you never know. I did. Michigan, she just pulled the plug. Although I heard gym still can't open, but today I know she went from phase 1 to phase 4 in 1 day. So
nice.
Wow.
Well, we're in phase 3 now, which was supposed to be gyms, but Newsom didn't give us gyms. So
no.
I can get my hair cut on Saturday. And
there you go.
So
next week, it'll be awesome.
4 hairs that I have, I can go get cut. So,
Mike, you get any info over by you? Because we got an announcement today that we're moving into stage 2, phase 1 of stage 2, which is going to turn into. I mean, I feel like I'm in Spaceballs or some shit. You know, what the fuck?
We are in. I think we're only 1 week into phase 1, so we got. Right. We don't have confirmation if we're phase 3 or phase 4. So and we got the 14 days in between every phase. So I think if we're phase 4, it's July 8th.
What about you? I'm sorry. What about you, Clinton? What's going on with
June 29th? If it's all the phases stay the same, so it's the phase 3.
And Jen and Jeb, everything's going good so far. You got no issues. I mean,
yeah, no issues so far.
Did you get all the equipment back?
Yeah, people. The gym opened up on I I think they said they wanted equipment back on Saturday and Sunday, and only like 4 people brought equipment back on Saturday. And then they sent something else saying like, hey guys, we need you all to return everything between like 12 and 2 or 12 and 4. And literally everybody brought everything back on that Sunday. So they didn't have any issues at all. Yeah, it was really, really good.
It went that simple for you too, right, Jeb?
No, we gave them like 4 days and people kind of trickled in and whatever. At the end of the day, we got everything back except one barbell is missing. It's someone's personal barbell, and I got to end up buying one, I guess, because it happened at my gym, and I don't keep track of personal barbells. You could walk up and say, hey, I'm taking this barbell home. I have no idea if it's yours or not. And somebody at the gym, their barbell is not there yet. Obviously, I'm not worried like someone stole it. Someone's just got it and doesn't know that it's someone else. It's just a mix up. But people didn't, yeah, I mean, it was a lot to get the equipment back for us. A lot of people brought it back right away, and then some people were like, oh, I'm going to bring it back when I feel like coming back to class, and I'm going to bring some of it back, but I'm going to keep this stuff at home. I'm like, no, like, you can't do that, you know? But as far as classes, every day things feel like they're getting closer to normal. We're up to 14 people in a class. Like we talked about, we still have the boxes, and everybody's got their own little station and extra time in between classes so everybody can clean and all that stuff. And so, yeah, I mean, we've still lost a lot of people, and some people came in, didn't feel comfortable, and so they went back on hold for a while. But at least we're back at the gym, and for, you know, 99% of us, that's all. We're just happy to be working out with people. So, you know, that's a big part for us too. So it's been good. I'm glad to be back.
From a gym owner standpoint, do you see that, you know, costs have gone up from a sense of like cleaning products and, you know, and just having like 10, 15 bottles of cleaning products and paper towels and all, you know, I mean, any advice for us, you know, about the go forward? Like, hey, maybe there might be a better way to do it than maybe what you see, or just be prepared to spend more?
For now, just be prepared. I mean, every station has their own cleaning bottle, their own box of like shop towels. The shop towels are like worth gold right now because we could only get 2 at a time from a store. So we were like going around to a bunch of stores trying to stock up. But I think we're just kind of overlooking all that because everybody's just happy to be back together for now. Eventually, yeah, we're going to start looking into that, like how much money are we really spending on all this and that. But I think for now, our main focus is just to get things rolling and be as smooth as possible, as, you know, just to get closer to normal. I don't know. And you know, and what that normal is going to be, I don't really know. You know what I mean? So I know, you know, me and Justin talked a lot last week, and, you know, there's definitely some changes that I was able to implement in the gym that I've been wanting to do for a long time. But I knew that I would have been fought, you know, a lot on some of the changes. And so I looked at it as an opportunity to be able to do some of that stuff. And no one's going to argue with me right now because they're so excited to be back in the gym. So I just kind of slid that stuff in there, and for now it's working. So
yeah, we did a parking lot today, and we only have 18 bars, you know, so
yeah,
you know, we can do 25 outside, you know. So Evelyn was like, well, how many people are going to sign up? I'm like, I don't know. And it was full, you know. I mean,
nice.
You know, you weren't sure on, and you're like, and you're trying to do like your best job of like, okay, everyone's going to go here because we were outside. We don't have the boxes in there and stuff. But
yeah,
I mean, I was surprised to see a big turnout, you know, because I mean, yeah, I was surprised, you know. So hopefully that's going to be the case when we open up. But
our gym owner at my gym, he put in a lot. I mean, I'm in Florida, so we can be outside most of the year. But he put in a bunch of outdoor stuff. So there's new outdoor rigs and sunshades and all that kind of stuff. So there's just a lot more available space where people don't feel like they have to be on top of each other, and it's making good use of outdoor space. And I know for me, every time I go to the games, I finish the games and I'm like, oh, I've got to train in the sunshine more because it's so damn hot in Florida. I train at 6 a.m. when it's like still dark all the time. And then I go compete outdoors and I like feel like a vampire when the sun hits my skin. So, you know, and this was kind of like a forced, you know, everybody's going to be outside sometimes kind of thing, which I think has made it nice. And some people that are more concerned about social distancing are just choosing to use the outside apparatus and platforms and all that kind of stuff instead, which has been nice, I think.
That's cool. Anybody else got anything else? Who's doing the workout? Jen, is it you? Are you going to give us a workout? Did you give it to us already?
Yeah, the one that I texted, 16
Okay.
Dumbbell snatches, 8 right, 8 left, and then 8 ring dips. You got to muscle up into the first one, and then 8 chest to bar as an 8-minute AMRAP.
Awful. Okay, great. Can we make it a 75-pound dumbbell? Because I have a 75. I swindled one.
So what would that be? 75, 55?
Yeah, right. You're a game athlete. You got that. No problem. It's 75 dumbbell for me. It's like half my body weight. Actually,
3/4 of your height too. So
what's that?
3/4 of your height too when you stand.
Yeah, this is true. But I don't know if you guys got anything else. Anybody? Kern, you got anything going on? What's up?
I don't know. You guys took all my stuff. One thing for both of you guys. But first, for Jeremiah, you touched on it, like how you've been like, you know, every year improving, like getting, I guess, improving your skills. I remember like 3 years ago, Wadapalooza was like, this dude could swim. And then it was like, the next year, it was like, shit, he could swim, he could run, and he could do this. And then like, I think it was last year, I was like, I couldn't even stay with you. I was like, shit, now he's good at CrossFit too. And I remember like, I was like, all right, he's crushed me this weekend. So, I mean, it's just been great watching you every year and trajectory going up. And obviously you do get the artificial, like, I'm fitter now because I'm aging up. I'm looking forward to age up this year. But you have like the perfect storm this year where, like, you know, your skills are improving, and then you hit the young guy in the bracket. I know we initially had you guys on here like, oh, it's like the just missed candidates. But both of you, like, I know for these guys who made the games, it being canceled sucks. But from your perspective, with the games being canceled, did it like, oh, okay, like, good. Did it take some of the sting out, or is it like, it was like, no, I really wish it was still going on. It was like, good, I'm glad it's canceled.
Carol can answer first.
yeah, look at it. Good, very diplomatic.
I would have gone to watch, and I have vacation that time, so I'm a little bummed that my vacation got taken. Like, I don't have plans now. But I honestly wasn't even going to do the qualifier. My sole focus was on the West Coast Classic, the Canada West, and the Legends. I had these like all lined up for how I was going to practice competing this year. And then they all went away. Except the Legends is back because it's in December. But no, I'm more bummed that I can't go see it. Like I said, I'm not sure that I'm ready for that stage. I would have nowhere to go but up, so I guess that's good. But yeah, I'm sad for the people who qualified. But like I said earlier, it's hard for me to be judgy like this with the way they programmed the workouts for last year for the Masters. I didn't feel like it was a very good test anyway. So maybe it's better that it was canceled if it will allow those members to go compete against each other somewhere else with good programming, Bob, then
no pressure, Bob.
Then it's okay.
You won't get any argument from me on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's kind of funny. When I was doing the qualifier, I told my wife, I was like, even when that was going on, I was like, I don't think there's going to be a games this year. Like I could feel it when we were doing it. Like it just felt like it was going to go down fast. But, you know, like I said before, when I got done, I was like super proud of how I fought this year, just going through a little bit of an injury. And, you know, I kind of felt like, oh my God, I knew I was going to be close. I didn't know I was going to be that guy. That guy sitting 5 points out. Like it's almost stupid how close it was in the end, you know, like literally like I could find any workout and go 5 seconds faster. Like, and it would have been, you know, but I think, you know, I don't have any hard feelings or anything. Cause like, I know you guys and I know like, you know, I think it's the group of guys that I know, and I don't know everyone in the 45 division, but you know, I know 4 or 5 and, they're just all good guys, you know, like Mike, like one, you know, you like one reason that I keep doing this is the encouragement I get from you guys in the competitions. You know, 2 years ago at Wadapalooza, you know, going into the last event, you were like, dude, go crush this, take this, you know, and like to have peers and guys like you guys that have been there encouraging me, like just fires me up even more. And so I don't, you know, if I don't make it because those guys make it, I have, you know, I don't have any hard feelings. I think it's awesome. You know, it's, again, like I said, just to be near is fun, you know, and I feel blessed, and it's just a cool group of guys and girls to be around. So, you know, it's a bummer how it all played out, but I'll keep saying it. It might end up being the best year ever. Who knows how this all plays out as far as like really cool events and, you know, with obviously there may be an advantage with, you know, people not being able to go to competitions because of, you know, travel. So if there's backfill, you know, I might get into a couple of these competitions, which would pan out for me. But yeah, I didn't really have any hard feelings or feel like, oh, good, they didn't get to go, because I know all you guys worked just as hard as I did. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't deserve it. I hate that word anyways. So like, it was, you know. So no, I think it you know. It's just a competition that, you know, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm going to speak for Clint. If Clint was 11th and they canceled the games, he'd be like, fuck you. That's what you fucking get. You fucking bastards. He would be on that fence, you know.
Well, Jeremiah, does it make it worse that like the guy that Sasha Tank leapfrogged you and made it in? Like, did you get a penalty?
No, that I don't even understand how things work. Like I was looking at scores, like there was weird scores. No, I had no penalties, but I think that what my biggest flaw was that the video that they asked for, I got second to behind Justin. So anyone behind me that got penalties, it wasn't going to affect me that much. Like I wasn't going to move up because they chose the one work I did well on. I was like, oh, suck.
Yeah, that's another reason. And there you go. That's another reason why it's so huge, because you were on the fence. And if they look at all the other, like, again, what if they choose a workout that you won, you know? All right. And you're like, I'm not going, I can't gain any more points if these people in front of me were bullshitting. You know, that's another reason why you should be putting in the videos, or at least just scare people that you're going to watch them. And, you know, it's like the video camera above the register that just like has a battery that blinks, you know, just to keep you honest, you know?
Yeah. No, it was weird. Yeah. I didn't. If I had been 100% healthy and this happened, I would have been like, nah, that's not cool. Like I would have flipped out. But having a little bit of an injury, I was happy. But
was it the overhead squat that bothered you with the injury, the heavy overhead, and what else was it?
You know what? That one I gutted it out. My shoulder hated me afterwards. That's why I haven't done anything for 10 weeks. What hurt the most was the 80 burpees. That I literally was like shaking after that stupid workout. And I was like kind of excited because that was kind of a workout I should have been good at. And then the bar muscle ups. Literally like the last 3 bar muscle ups, I felt like someone shot me with a gun. Like I actually fell off the bar. Like my wife thought I had died. And then I just had to jump up and do 3 more and then just hang on that bar and knock out toes to bar. I was like, no, I'm not going out like this. So yeah, but it's all good. Not like, you know, it's sports, right? There's always injuries. You got to battle through. That's what we're doing. So, But yeah, just the 2 workouts, the videos were my 2 best scores. So I had no possibility of like really gaining anything, just people falling out. And that.
Yeah. I mean, and you're that, like I said, you're one of those cases that someone behind you jumped up.
Yeah.
You know, like you're like, how the fuck did this guy get in? You know, and you didn't get in because, like you said, you know, they didn't look at a video that, you know, you made a jump that you could have jumped other people. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But,
it is what it is.
Yep. But all right, guys, we've got next week. And Jen, just text out that there's so many freaking text messages. I don't know which workout we're doing. So send me that. And we'll figure it out. Nice to meet you, Carol and Jeremiah. Hope to see you soon.
Yeah, see you soon.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Talking to you guys.
Good seeing you guys.
Thanks.
Nice to meet you, Carol.